Well, as you guys can tell already from the thumbnail and from the title of the video, we're gonna do another project on the 79 Ford. It's been forever coming. I apologize for that. I have a lot going on. I'm in the process of restoring a dining room table for my wife for Christmas. My garage has been kind of taken over. This is my daughter's project. It's a dollhouse for her daughter. She's been working on that over on her channel, Keeping Up With Us. I'll leave a link down below to that. We're gonna do this in the same color scheme as the houses. It'll match the house. I'll put a before picture and then show an after when I get that complete. It'll not be done before I post this video, that's for sure. But keep watching and I'll have that done at some point. Today we are going to start on a project I've been putting off, basically because I've never done anything like this before, and I'm super nervous, actually, honestly. I'm cutting out the floor pans and going to be welding the new ones back in place. There might be cab mount issues underneath as well. I have those. I may need to order the bushings, but I don't know till I get in there. One of my other goals, I gotta get this place cleared out so that my garage is a little more usable. This kind of stuff doesn't help, but having the bumper and the grill right there taking up about 1/3 of my garage is a problem. I'm not going to mount them, but I'm going to get them in the bed of the truck to store essentially for the winter until I can get around to body work and that sort of thing. Let's get that done. Let's get that unwrapped, get all of our tools out that we need, and get started on this project. And before we get started, got some new t-shirts, Midnight Maroon. I'll leave links down below to that. Helps support the channel. It helps put money back in. I put all of my t-shirt money back directly into parts for the 79 Ford. So if you'd like to support the channel, see more videos on that, that's one way you can help out, and I really appreciate it, for sure. They're priced reasonably. Put new lower prices on them. $20 for a nice t-shirt. Comes in many different colors. I think you'll be happy. It's a nice design, kind of super cool. I like it. Midnight Maroon, hashtag Midnight Maroon. So after vacuuming it out, it actually doesn't look nearly as bad as I thought it did before. I mean, obviously there's gaping holes, but this over here is, I mean, it's a little bit pockmarked, but it's structurally sound. I whacked on it with a hammer a couple times, and it's pretty structurally sound. So I think I might just, I don't know, something like that and up to about there, and just replace that section there. That'll leave me enough sheet metal to get this done too if I need to. Again, this is gonna all be under carpet. I'm gonna use Rust Reformer on it to convert all that rust back to good metal before I do anything else. I found this kind of interesting when I was cleaning. This is seam sealer from when it was originally manufactured. It's like they were putting it on, had too much, and just wiped it there, and then they painted right over the top of it. So It's kind of cool. I got a little bit of surface rust back in here as well. I'll just shoot all of that with Rust Reformer before we get too crazy. But I think I'm gonna go from about here down and just go black. Just do a black as part of the midnight, you know, midnight maroon, midnight maroon, midnight maroon. But that's the idea. I'll know more when I start really tearing into that, and I'm gonna do that right now. I wish I had one of those fancy plasma cutter thingies, but nope. So just going with a cutoff disc, and let's get after it. Progress update. I've got the Rust Reformer sprayed on. I put a real heavy coat on so it would get down in all of the little pock marks and whatnot. Here's an example of what that looks like. I am probably going to cut that out and replace that piece right there, mostly because that is, well, it's part of that over there. Ooh, that's still wet, can't touch it. I've still got to spray back in here in the corners. I took a wire wheel on my angle grinder to this whole half of the cab. I'll do the other half tomorrow, most likely. I'm running out of time. We're going to dinner for my daughter's birthday, so. But I figured I'd get a head start on it, get a heavy coat down so that it can be drying. Tomorrow we're going to be cutting that piece out and getting it set in place and ready to weld in. And like I said, I've never done anything like this before, so be gentle in the comments. I appreciate that. We're not going for show quality truck. We just want it to be functional and last a really long time. So, and I get that, you know, I'm cutting some corners here and there, but overall I got to get this thing, get some progress made on it. You guys have been very patient. I appreciate that. But man, it's gonna look good when it's all done. Can't wait. I hope it comes together in reality as well as it is in my mind. Again, I've never restored a vehicle to this extent before. I've done some work on vehicles, but not anything like this. So I'm learning as I go. Hopefully you guys are learning some stuff from me. If anything, you're learning what not to do. So I guess that's cool. So sorry about that. But at least I'm showing my progress, and we'll see if we can get more progress done tomorrow, and then we'll call it a wrap on this video. I'm hoping to get this half of the cab completely done. Hopefully, maybe even both sides. It depends on how long it takes on the welding process. But well, that doesn't look half bad. super dirty. Collected a whole bunch of dust from all the woodworking projects that we've done, and I didn't wash it. I just put it on there and wiped with a rag. But I gotta get that grill out of there. I think I'll just put it in the bed of the truck for now. It'll be under the cover during the winter, but I think that'll be all right. Closing up shop for the day, get her covered up, and we'll hit this again in the morning. Alright, it's a brand new day. I was able to spend some time with family last night, which is always awesome. We went out to dinner for the first time in a very long time. Then we'll get started on the 79 Ford Midnight Maroon. This part never gets old to me. So the next step in this process, I've got the new pan laid in place. It doesn't quite line up exactly. I've got to trim this upper corner so that it'll kind of square up in the hole. I want it to lay down so that the grooves here line up with the grooves that I'm leaving in the truck. And then I'll mark it from the bottom, because there's obviously a hole in the bottom. Mark it so that I know approximately where to cut it, and then I'll cut outside of my lines. So anyway, we got to get to that point, and then I'll kind of show you what I'm up against here. So tracing from below, this is what it looks like. I've got to cut outside of that line by a little ways, and then I'll just creep up on it by just nibbling away, test fitting it, nibble away some more, test fit it some more, till I get a decent tight fit with just the smallest of a gap, so that I can get some weld down in there between the new metal and the old metal. Let's make some sparks. Don't forget your safety equipment, eye goggles, ear protection.
Making some sparks.
That's all that I'm taking off each time I go around. Just a little teeny bit each time. Alright, so the method that I'm using is I made 2 reference marks, and I've got this side more or less butted up against the other metal. And I'm just marking a little bit on the places that need to be nibbled away at, just barely. And then when I come back, my reference points, my reference lines will help me line that up correctly every single time when I come back to make another adjustment, make a mark, make another adjustment. So at this point, it's just a back and forth, trim a little, see if it fits, trim a little more, see if it fits. yeah, well, you get it. This is going to take a while. So I'm not going to bore you with the details, I'm just going to get after that, but I wanted to kind of show the method that I used for lining this up. I just got as close as I could with a pass, basically, and then we'll just nibble away around the whole thing until we finally get it to set in there just where we want it. So I'll check back in hours, I'm sure. My competition with noise. So after about an hour, just give a quick update here. I started essentially at this mark and went around this way. I've got my magnetic thing holding it in place, my magnetic square. You can see a little gap across here, and then I've come as far as right there. So I still have to go all the way down this one side, and then all the way up the back side, and then bend this into place. This will be my very last portion that I get in place, because I have to actually tweak that bend just a hair to get it to follow the contour of the floorboard of the truck. So I'm just going to keep nibbling away at it, test fitting. It's been up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't even know how many times, trips back and forth, but it takes a little while. You really can't stretch metal, so don't take it too far. This is my first time doing this. I don't know if there's an easier way or not, but this is what I'm doing to get this to fit. And then we'll get it tack welded in place, making sure that our levels are all right. I'm going to be putting a carpet kit in here, so this is really just some good practice for me. I'm practicing on this small patch on this side. On that side, I'm going to have to probably replace the entire pan. I'm sure that the cab mount underneath is welded out too. I do have a little bit of rust on the cab mount, but it's not completely horrible on this side. So I'm just going to leave this one in place at some future point if something goes horribly awry. I have the part. I could get in there and replace it. I don't want to have to do that, but I could if I had to. So let's keep after this and get to a point where we break out the welder. I don't know if I'm going to make it today or not, but I am going to close out this video at the end of today no matter where I'm at, because I've got to get this video out there for you guys. Well, that took the better part of the day. The final shape that we created, whoops, gotta get out of the light, is right here. That's the front of the truck, that direction. This is the edge that I had to bend a little bit to make it fit, but I was just nibbling away little piece by piece all the way around the edges, and now it is a really good fit all the way around, nice and tight. There's the tiniest of a gap all the way around so that I can get a little bit of a weld down inside of there. And in the next video, we'll actually be welding that in. But I ran out of time today, but I promised you guys that I'd post a video, so I think what I'll end up doing is posting smaller segments of the things that I do and just give you updates as I go along, so that I can get more content out to you guys faster. So I hope you guys will appreciate that. If you do, give this video a like. Also comment down below anything that maybe I could do better. I'm learning, like I said, this is the first time I've ever done any type of cutting in, patching in of metal and welding, that sort of thing, on body type stuff, body panels. So I figure it's a good place to practice on the floor pans, because those are going to be covered up. I did end up going underneath the truck and prepping all the way under there. As I did that, I actually found that there was factory paint still on the underside of the truck. That was very impressive. In fact, the cab mount itself, that metal piece, has factory paint still on it. There's a little bit of rust around the edges, and so I'm going to sand down and treat that and then paint as well. So very similar to what I've done on the underside of the bed and the frame of the truck as well. That's the update. That's where I'm currently at on the truck. In the next video, I hope to get that panel welded in and get the other side at least to this point where I'm ready to weld that side in as well. Hoping that I can kind of pick up the pace a little bit. It's getting cold outside. Right now it's 41 degrees and I am freezing. I'm ready to go inside and warm up. This is Troy with DIY Home and Auto. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all those things. That really helps the channel out as well. Also check below for all of the links to tools, products, those type of things. I'm an Amazon affiliate. They give me a little bit of a kickback. Just to say thank you for sending them business. It doesn't cost you guys anything extra to use those links, but I appreciate it, and it's a small way to help support the channel. I put all of the money that I earn from those type of things and from YouTube back into these projects, so it just equates to more content faster for you guys. I appreciate it again. This is Troy with DIY Home and Auto. Oh, and also go over and check me out on Instagram. I post updates there a little more frequently than I do out here on YouTube. Then you'll get kind of a preview of what I'm doing and what might be coming. I appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for being so patient with me. We'll get back to the regular stuff very soon. Thanks guys, appreciate it.